Hi there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Forex Weekly. So as you can see from last week's one, there's been some very successful trades and definitely some things that you should catch on to this week. So again guys, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner, stay up to date with the channel. Like I've been mentioning, I've got a beginner's guide for any new traders that want to learn this skill coming out in August. 10 videos, just building up your understanding of the markets. It'll be a very good watch. Be sure to check that out. A quick shout out to my sponsors, the Absolutely magazine. Thank you for all your hard work and support that you've given me. Truly means a lot. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. With that being said guys, we're going to get into the fundamentals. We're going to check out what the charts are cooking up this week and seeing how we can tackle any problems that we see. Let's go.
As always, as you know, we've got to check them fundamentals early on in the week. So here I am just checking out what's going to possibly have an impact in the charts. Now, the good news this week is there is hardly any news. So no news is good news. We can expect the market to be a little less volatile. There will be less bigger movements, but of course we can then catch onto some trends and ride them with obviously the comfort of knowing that no news is going to come and impact that trade in a bad way. So there is one thing that is standing out this week to me. Again, Tuesday, not much, nothing that really stands out. There might be a bit of movement in the US dollar around this news, around the New York Open. But Wednesday, again, very quiet, nothing much that's standing out. Thursday, we've got the Euro interest rate decision. That'll be just before the New York Open. So that'll be pretty much the main focus of the week, where I'm looking at volatility, where I'm looking for a move that's going to be big and happen very fast. But other than that, and again, Friday, not much. So just expecting a slower week in the markets than last week. We had 3 interest rate decisions last week. 2 of them was very, very volatile. 1 of them wasn't. So this week now, obviously with the Euro, that's going to be where we're looking for the volatile moves. And of course, you can catch on to some trends in the other trades. So again, let's get into the charts. Be aware of the Euro, be aware of this information, and let's see what we can catch for this week. Okay, guys, so like always, I'm going to start with the gold. The US 30, the UK 100. I'm going to add Bitcoin this week. There is something that I want you to monitor, and we'll go from there. So again, with gold, I just want to mention that move that was spoke about a couple of weeks back from the buy area. It's now gone and hit the take profit target. I was looking at a potential sell from this area. We did get pushes from it, but overall it does look like it's going to continue going to the upside. So I've made my decision there with the direction. I do believe we're going to go higher and maybe even take out this area up here around the 1570 level on gold euro. So all I'm looking out for this week, and if I just come down a time frame, it will look a bit clearer. I like this piece of price action here. This is an area where I believe it shows the market makers have manipulated an area. It's funny how the week had to finish back there in line with this level. So I'm just going to be looking at a buy push from this area around the 1530 level. That will be the first scenario I look at. If it starts to beat this level, take this area out, take out the stop losses that will be under here, then it's this little bodied candle here around the 1520, 1522 level. I'll be looking at a potential buy from there. So that's the gold euro. It's very similar on the gold USD. As you can see, it looks like something's happened in an area where, as you can see, if you look at the times, this is around the New York Open. So something's happened here, something's shot down and flown up. And then the next day again, around the New York Open, something's shot down and flown up. That is something that the market makers are very well known for doing. As you can see, it has a little retest on that area before making a new high. Again, towards the end of the week, heading back to this level. So very early on in the week, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be monitoring this area around, let's say, the 1805 to the 1800 level. I want to see if it's going to struggle again, if we're going to see something similar to this. Can I see the market makers in this area? And then I'll be thinking about a buy push to ride, like I say, towards the nearest liquidity level, which on this case will be around the 1870, 1880 level. So just be aware of that. Let's see how it's playing from there at the start of the week. Monday, Tuesday. Again, remember that 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when the gold tends to have its movements. So just be aware of that, of course. And let's see what we get from that. Now, the next one I wanted to go through was the US 30. I was mentioning a sell around the 3,500 level. It went slightly higher, 35,100, and then it's had that drop again on a Friday afternoon. So what I want to explain now, what I'm seeing is it does look like they are pumping money on the sell side in this area. If I just show you what it's actually looking to play off. So we've had the big push down on Friday. And again, it's very similar to the pound US, the euro pound moves that I mentioned last week. They've left like a marker in this area. So it was 4 o'clock. Again, that was the London close. And it looks like something has been pushed up and then continued shooting down throughout the night, which obviously the New York session would have been controlling. So simple enough. If I just put a line here, I'm going to be looking at this area, looking at this candle, obviously wondering why it's there, and seeing if price is going to go back up and retest the level where we'll be looking at a sell to ride down to a lower areas, at least to the 3,400 level, to wipe out some liquidity under here with a nice double bottom. So just keep an eye on that one as well. That's the US 30. On to the next one, which will be the UK 100. I mentioned a trade on this last week. We didn't get our entry. I wanted to see it come up here towards the level around the 160, 180 level. And if eventually it went and hit the take profit, but just without us on the bus. So this week, looking at this now, I believe it's heading towards a key buy-in area. So this is the candle that stands out to me on the daily around the 12th of May. And obviously it's been playing off of that once, twice, had a few moves. It's back again. Now I'm expecting it to come a little bit lower. I'm not expecting it to play from the same level each time. So this one here, just going to be monitoring around the 6910, 6900 level for the potential buy. It does look a bit clearer on the 4 hour. You can see what's kind of happened in that level. Again, very similar things. If I just zoom in, you can see that price was shot down, shot up, came back to that level, moved away. The question is, are they going to do it again? It's really that simple. So keep an eye on that one. That's the UK 100. The last one in this section is the Bitcoin. Now, I had a trade that I wanted to mention last week. It didn't quite make the video edit. It was just to dip this area where there's a nice double top, bit of liquidity, come down again, just missed, and it started to make its way. So it started to trend downwards. So again, all I'm going to ask you to look at this week, if you look here, if I just come down to a 2 hour, it looks a bit clearer, right? So what you can see here is a scenario that I'm key on. You know, this is something that I like looking at, something I like seeing. And what I want to mention is how price never came back to this level before making a new low. So again, you just see the candle come up here, misses that blue candle, come up again, misses that blue candle. It won't move down and make a new low until it's played off of what it needs to play off. So all you've got to do is become good at seeing these scenarios, being able to spot them, more importantly, being able to trade them. So that's Bitcoin. And what I'm suggesting to do this week is, I've seen this drop down, miss these candles, finally hit that area, then move. So we've got a similar scenario. So if you look at it here, this blue candle has been untouched. As you can see, the bearish power shot it down. So what I'm expecting this week, again, maybe next week as well. This may not get up there this week, so it may be a longer term thing. I will ask you to watch the 3,400 level. There could be a sell 3,400 to the 34,400 level. Possible sell there, but be aware of this level as well. I believe the market makers may be somewhere here and it may not get up to there. So again, it's just about watching the two levels, seeing where the sell is going to come from. So 32,800 would be somewhere around here as well, looking at what may happen there. So just keep an eye on that one. That's the Bitcoin. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick ad break. I want to mention my mentorship program. I've had a few students recently that have passed through and are doing very well in the markets. And I just want to expose this opportunity to anyone new that wants to learn this skill, learn how to trade properly. You can take my mentorship program. It roughly lasts around 3 to 4 months, but again, it depends on the individual. However you're taking this information in, if I can see that it won't obviously be, and 3 months will be long enough, we'd spend a lot more time with you making sure that you learn the skill. So again, just a few things you will learn: how the financial institutions enter the market, how to create your own trading plan, how to place your own trades, how to trade your edge over the market, a very important skill in Forex. Risk management and protecting your capital, just understanding how important that is. How to use TradingView and analyze the markets for yourself. With that, you will get 3 to 4 hours of mentoring lessons per week with me, access to my trading community where roughly I send out 1 to 2 trades a week, early access to the market outlooks, to the videos that come out every Sunday and Wednesday. You'll be able to check out them slightly earlier than everybody else. There'll be homework setting. There's monthly tests. I need to make sure you're understanding what I'm teaching you. And that is a pivotal part of the course. And then with that, you'll get access to 10 hours of pre-recorded educational videos. So basically the lessons that you'll be going through, there'll be a video for you to just use as a reference, go back over and over, until it's finally drilled into your head. Access to my live trades, again, that kind of comes with the access to my trading community. And of course, you'll get my 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week mentoring support. Okay, we've obviously got the euro interest rate decision this week on Thursday. I'm going to start with the baby, which is the euro pound. Now, for those of you who follow me, you'll know that I've just been riding the life out of this for sells. Okay, it's been dropping. It's just been dropping for ages. The pound's been having strength over the euro. So the overall target is, I believe it is going to wipe out this area eventually. So this week, if I just come to a 4-hour, what we was looking at last week was some good sells. We had around a 60, 70 pip move from the 85, 600, 700 level. It came once, it came twice. And now it looks like it's going to go slightly higher, and it looks like it's going to an untouched area. So the first thing I want us to focus on is the 85, 900, 86 level. Somewhere there, I believe we're going to get another push to the downside. And that will be, let's say, within Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, remember, what you're about to see when I talk about the other euro pairs is that I am expecting some euro strength this week, because obviously they're about to announce their interest rate decision. So just be aware that if this is still sitting around this level, then expect price to shoot up by Thursday. If you haven't got that sell by Monday, Tuesday, at least, start to forget about it and think about a possible buy, let's say around the 85, 200, 85, 100. I believe we're going to get some strength. They're going to shoot price to an area that they need to then go do a higher sell from, and then we'd wipe that area out. So just be aware of that. Keep an eye on the level, monitor it, and be aware that that news may impact this week. So just be aware. Euro interest rate decision Thursday. Okay, so next up is the Euro USD. We're going to go, I'm going to show you this one, how I'm expecting to see the Euro strength. So the first thing I'm looking at is this daily picture. I like that it's come back to this area. This is like what I would call the last point of call. If we're going to get a buy, this will be where it's going to come from. And it's around the 17500 level. If I just come down to a 4-hour, you'll start to see the areas that I'm looking at a little bit clearer. And it's this one here, around that 17500. Again, it's a picture that may become familiar to you now. Again, it's got something that I like. I can see that money has been pumped here by the market makers. That's why price shot up that aggressively. And it's just back in that level, as you can see. I'll get price back over there. So I'm just going to see how this is going to react again this week. And is it going to start to show signs of being a buy? Now, I do want to see some candles dip into the area, show some wicks, show some rejections of the area to the downside. If I don't see them things, the trade will become invalidated very quickly to me. So again, what we also have on this one is target areas. I believe there's scenarios here that price has to come back to eventually. There will be a time where the market makers need to bring price at least back up to the 120 level. So again, it's just about understanding where your targets are, how you're going to enter, and where we're going to, and more importantly, exit the market, which is very, very vital in this world. So keep an eye on that one for the 17500 level for the potential buy for the Euro USD. Now, remember, we're trying to fuel it with the interest rate decision. So if price kind of stalls for the first 3 days, still sitting here around Thursday, expect what I'm saying to happen even more. So again, if that is happening, the euro pound trade would become almost a bit more invalidated. So kind of use both ideas that I've given you here and see how you can progress with it throughout the week. That's the Euro USD. Okay, next up is the pound US. So if the euro decides to beat up the dollar, I think the pound, maybe not as strong because they haven't got their interest rate decision this week, but expect it to have a move as well. So this is an area I've been mentioning on the daily. It had a little push from it. It's coming back towards the area. So if I just come down towards the 4-hour again, I'm going to stay with the number that I've been mentioning. It's the 137,500 to the 137 level. Somewhere in there, again, with the signs of rejection, I believe we're going to get a buy push. And again, we've got our target 140 at least, maybe to the 141 level. There's definitely something up there that I know the market makers are going to have to come and interact with. So just keep that in mind, the 137,500 level. We've got our target. There's a lot of pips. There's around 200-300 pips there to the upside. Keep an eye on that one. Again, with this entry, try to synchronize it with a London Open. So 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe a New York Open. Let's see if the pound's going to get strong. throughout the week. Okay, next up, the Euro AUD. This is going to be a longer term trade. This is on a daily time frame. So again, maybe not expect it to happen this week, but if it does, tackle the problem instantly. The number I'm going to be looking out for is the 160, let's say to 160,500 level. There's again, that same scenario that I'm looking at. I can see it sticking out there. And it looks like price has been trying to shoot there. So it's obviously by Wednesday, it started to make its move back up and say, let's get there for next week. So my idea of thinking is that this is where they're trying to head in time for the Euro interest rate decision. That may be the last bit of fuel that it needs to get up to there. And then we'll be looking at how it actually reacts with this area. And then I'll be looking to back the Australian dollar to then ride down for could be a long-term trade. So again, just keep an eye on that. I'm not expecting it this week. If it does, you've got the scenario 160 to the 160,500 level. That's the Euro AUD. Okay, so a very, very similar story with GA. Again, I'm still long-term expecting price to come up here. That's what the higher time frame is telling me. So if I just come down again, I've got a scenario that I've seen that I want you to focus on. And it's just basically the 185, 300 level. This area here off this candle, it's got everything that I want to see. And I just believe price is kind of doing the trending thing. So it's going to be a slower trade. Don't expect much volatility in this one this week, but just expect price to sort of climb back down towards that level, react, and then we'll get our push to the upside. That's what I'm hoping for. Keep an eye on that one. Slightly different to the Euro AUD. We're not going to aim to really catch that Euro buy up. I'd rather see what the interest rate decision does and then see if we can tackle that afterwards. So again, with this one, it's the opposite. I'm looking at a buy against the AUD, 85, 300 to the 85 level. Somewhere there, I believe we're going to get a push to the upside with that longer term target in mind. Okay, next up is the USD CAD. Again, this is a trade that I mentioned last week. There's the setup for you. Again, the bus went without us. It looks like it's going to go to the upside. That's fine. I don't mind missing trades like this. More often than not, it will come and hit the area. So that's no problem. Now, the next thing I'm looking at for this one is where's it going to? Where could it possibly turn around? So I understand there's going to be lots and lots of liquidity just above this area here. Lots of stop losses, lots of traders getting taken out of the market when price reaches above there. So what I'm going to be looking at is around the 126,500 to the 127 level. That will be where I'm monitoring for a sell. And then, of course, there'll be some target. Again, we've got our target already at the 124 level. It's a big 300 pip move. Again, just watch that. Again, it might not be this week. Again, this is a daily time frame. So it may take a bit longer than it looks. I know it looks very close. It may be 2 weeks. So just keep this one in mind for next week as well. Of course, I'll be updating it. But the sell area is going to be around the 127 level. That's where I believe we're going to get the key entry and then a longer term move. Now, this is the pound CAD. This is an area that I was monitoring. It teased me. It showed signs of being a sell and then went higher. That's fine. This is a trade that lost. It's not all glory here. Okay, so just again, keeping it real with you. What I'm expecting now is where is this sell going to come from? So they've obviously left something up here. You can see how price shot away. So the next area to monitor will be around the 175 level, 175, 300. If this is going to continue being a sell, that looks like the area they're bringing price to mitigate out of a position and then continue bringing that price lower. Again, the target would be around 171 to the 170, a very big move. Keep an eye on them too. That's the USD CAD and the pound CAD. Okay, listen up to these next three. They're all going to kind of synchronize with each other. So USD Swiss franc, I'm kind of keeping an open mind as well. So I'm not looking to just be a buyer. I'm going to watch what price is going to do at the start of the week and then make my decision from there. The first area I want you to focus on, if price starts to move upwards, look at this. Let's see what's going to happen. 92,600 may be a sell. I'm expecting it to come down to at least the 9,800 area. It could come to the 90 level. So just be aware of them. That's a buy area. This could possibly be a buy area, but which way is it going to go first? If it comes down first, easy. We're going to become focus on the buyers. If it starts to just trickle up a little bit, focus on that sell to ride down to that area. That's going to be the USD Swiss franc. That hasn't changed much since last week. The next one I want to talk about is the pound Swiss franc. Now, there's been some key selling areas, but again, the same thing I'm looking at. This is going to be the target. This is where I believe there's lots of money, lots of stop losses. If I just come down to a 1 hour, it's going to look a little bit clearer. I want to see price wipe this area out and then come and play from here. So around the 126 to the 125,800 level, that's going to be the buy opportunity with, of course, the target around 127,600, let's say to the 128 level if we're feeling lucky. Now, the last one, the interesting one, is going to be the Euro Swiss franc. Now, remember, Thursday, Euro interest rate decision. The target, there's a piece of market makers action left here. I'm aware of that, around the 109,200 level. So what we're looking at, pure and simply, let's see the week start. Let's see the Swiss franc gain some strength against the euro, push it into this area around the 108,200. If it's obviously Wednesday night would be ideal, would be perfect. Thursday, interest rate decision just before the New York Open. Let's see if that's going to be the fuel that pushes the euro towards this level here. That's what I believe is going to happen. Keep an eye on them. That's the USD Swiss franc, the pound Swiss franc, but more importantly, the euro Swiss franc. Okay, next up is the pound NZD. Now, just looking at this on a bigger time frame, there's still loads of areas that I'm keen on seeing price head back towards. Now, as you can see, we've started to have like a good push out of that area. What I'm looking at for this week is just a retest. Can we get a retest back up to then continue to aim for them longer term targets? So the area I'm going to ask you to look at for this one is very simple. You can see it clearly. Let me explain. Market makers push the price up here, shoot it down aggressively, come back to the very base of where they started that transaction and start off a new one. They push it up and then shoot price aggressively down again. So 198 is going to be the key level. Let's say 197,800 as well, to just be a bit precise. And that's where I'm looking to see price shoot up to and then continue with this bearish action. Now, the next one was the most successful trade of last week. I mentioned this again. Check out the case study if you haven't seen that already. I explain in detail what I can see there and why the trade was so successful. Of course, it had its interest rate decision as well, which was right there around 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, funny enough, price came back to that area, did something of out of ordinary, which I am very aware of. As you can see, that wiki candle there around the 169 level. So again, pure and simply for this week, we're just looking at seeing the price retest off of there and then continue down. I'm pretty sure they're pumping the sell side. I got that one correct. Let's see if they're going to retest this level and continue to the downside. That's the pound NZD and the euro NZD. Next up is the pound yen. Now, I mentioned this area ages ago about being a sell longer term, and it's pushed away from the area beautifully now, and it's starting to show signs of a bearish trend. If I just come down to a 4 hour, you'll start to see how the market makers are moving this price down. Now, what I want you to focus on is just around the 153,500 level. That's the key. I believe they're going to, it's already been touched, as you can see. They've already came back and done that. But I believe that's where we're going to get price come back up to before we continued. It may go towards the 154 level. So just be aware of that. Let's see what price is going to do. That's the pound yen. Now, the better looking one again will be the euro yen. So what I'm expecting this week is price to start off slow, really slow, hardly any movement. Then we're going to see that interest rate decision come around. And what I want to see is just here. So we've seen the market makers do their thing here. They came back, shot it down, came back, shot it down. But this area didn't really get the comeback. So 131,500 is where I'm going to be looking to see a sell. Now, remember, euro interest rate decision may fuel it, may pump price up to that level, and then you'll get the entry for the sell. Maybe it can come on Friday afternoon. So just be aware, be patient, and stay monitoring the charts. Don't expect this to happen this week. It's got quite a bit of room to come back up to. So what I'm looking at is we've had this price movement here. This is where there was an interest rate decision. Price shot down. It came back here. This is some market makers play here. Market makers play here. So what I'm saying is now, I don't believe they're going to come up to here yet. This is where I believe they're going to make another move from around the 75,500 level. Now, what the reason I've said don't worry about this one too much this week is because pure and simply, the NZD USD looks more likely to be this week. So switch your focus onto this one. Now, again, very similar picture. We had that movement down. Here they are coming back to the level, shoot down, come back to the level, shoot down. But this one hasn't kind of been interacted with the way the others have. So looking to see a move around the 7,800, possibly 71 level for the continuation of the sell. Again, longer term targets would be around the 69 level. So around a 200 pip move, keep an eye on it. That's the NZD USD and the AUD USD.
Okay guys, thanks for watching. That's all from me this week. My advice is very simple. Pick 2 opportunities that I've mentioned in the video, 2 or 3. Analyze it, monitor what I've said, see if it comes back to the entry level. If it starts to reject in that area that I've mentioned, think about taking a trade or taking an investment. And again, if you do that, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming. Like I mentioned, there's that beginner's guide next month. Be sure to check that out. Again, a quick shout out to my sponsor, Forex Weekly magazine. Thank you for all your help and support. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. Have a great trading week.